Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of State of the Realm. It's a new Final Fantasy XIV podcast that we're going to be doing, and this is the first episode. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. We're going to be giving you our thoughts on latest patch, and we're going to be trying to have a little bit of fun in between. Doesn't have to be all serious business. I'm your host, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo, and joining me as co-host for the show is none other than Samuel Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyakagreyfox, aka you my boy Blue. You my boy Blue. You my boy Blue. That's gonna be a normal thing, everybody. Just so you know, that's every week he's gonna have to get like 6 different introductions. We've already determined this ahead of time. Yo, Slyh, how you doing, man? We're running a little late. You had a bit of an issue getting home on time. I thought it might be the weather because we got tons of snow here.
No, it wasn't even the weather. It was just one of my technicians fell through a ceiling, and
I hate it when technicians fall through ceilings.
And stuff was broken. Of course,
is he all right?
He's all right. Homeowner isn't, of course, because she's just yelling at him, yelling at me.
Yeah. I wouldn't be happy if a technician fell through my ceiling either.
Kind of broke a table, which kind of broke his fall, but
I don't think that's how you want to break a fall with a table, unless the table's made of pillows. I don't think that's how you want it. No, I don't think that's a very good idea. Well, luckily for the first ever episode, we have a brand new patch to talk about, and it's been out for exactly a week today. How you been doing with the new patch, man? Don't give me specifics. How you been doing with the new patch?
Oh, I love it, dude. I love the new patch.
You love it?
I love it. I'm gonna give my rating a little bit later, but so far in terms of everything, I love it. The only thing that I had to recuse myself on is Zeta. I mean, but I hear it's the easiest step. At the same time, I'm still on Animus, so I had to recuse myself on it.
Oh, you're still on the Animus step. Well, I mean, that means you'll get some practice for it a little bit soon. The first thing I actually wanted to talk about, because we got the Mandeville Gold Saucer. Everyone already knows about it. That's going to be a big topic later. I want to start with the little things like the Zeta. So for those who don't know how the Zeta works, from the Novus to the Nexus step, you got to grind a bunch of lights. I'm not going to go into full detail, but you're basically doing that again. You're just doing it 12 times in a very short spurt. So when you get to that step, the Novus to the Nexus, you're going to be like, oh, I hate this. And then you're going to get to the final step, the Zeta, and Slyh, you're going to be like, why was this not the Novus to the Nexus step? It should have been switched around.
Exactly. When I'm hearing that people are doing it like over a weekend, over like a 12-hour stint, and they're getting like, I've already gotten 2. Wait, what? Yeah. See, now like, it makes everything else sound so difficult. Like,
see, but the thing is, that means they have 2 fully completed relics before that, and that's not something to laugh at. that's almost that's. Oh, I mean, I have 2. I guess. Never mind. We'll not talk about the people that have more than 1, because it took me like 4 months to get the second one. I'm not proud of it. So I already finished one of mine, and I'm like not even trying with the second one. Please tell me you're only working on 1 and you're not going down the insane route of doing 2.
Yeah, I'm only gonna do 1.
If you're only on the Animus for 1, I can't imagine you're getting ready to do the second one. Oh man. Well, at least it's item level 135.
Yeah, so pretty much best in slot for pretty much most characters, depending on how you spec it. Or
how are you gonna spec yours?
Crit and God, I don't know what else. I don't know what I should spec it out to be, because I'm doing it for Goon. So,
you gotta go determination. Then you gotta go. You got deep enough pockets for that?
Hell no. In terms of the Final Fantasy economy right now, I'm only sitting at $1 million, like $1 million and some change. So I'm still like third world. So
third world. Listen, a lot of people would say $1 million is a lot.
A few months ago, I did. Like, because
and then you got to the relic step, and you're like, this isn't gonna cut it. This isn't gonna cut it. No.
And I know the next few steps of relics are gonna be really expensive, so I'm gonna have to go back to mining.
Mining's good money. Get those fire clusters or whatever clusters sell for the best. That's free 15K an hour right there, even more. All right. Well, I won't make you suffer the conversation of relic much longer. So let's talk about something that I was a little bit happier about. So, Gift of the Archmagus was a weekly quest that was added back in 2.5, and I'm sure somebody's going to say it's Archmagus or something like that. But we got the Carbon Twine added to it, the final coil for the left side items in order to upgrade them from the poetics. You done this yet? You used any of these yet?
Yes, I actually got my first carbon twine last week. It's good that because I'm not on final coil yet. It's good that I can upgrade my Ironworks armor. But question to you is, as a player who's already gotten through final coil, had already gotten carbon twine, how do you feel about this? Whereas like players now are able to quote unquote, I wouldn't say face roll it, because CT.
All right.
I mean,
all right,
it's
listen,
really not
face
a face
roll was
roll.
perfectly okay. Listen, it may not be a face roll. There are actual mechanics there, but have you seen some of the you've had to have had one of those rolls where one of those runs where it's like that Monday you're just trying to get it done for the week, and everybody just doesn't want to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
we've all had those runs. I'm glad. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, I earned it the hard way. You know, I did it when it was hard, therefore nobody else. I'm not. People enjoy the game the way they want to. Everyone pays a subscription. I don't care. You get your carbon twines. I haven't completed the quest more than once because I don't need the carbon twines anymore. As far as I'm concerned, I just don't need to do that quest and let everyone else enjoy it. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna hold people back from having fun? That's not cool, man. That's not cool. What did you use your carbon twine on first?
My chest piece first.
Now, going back, if they make the tombstone available later this month, you're not going to finish your relic, are you?
If they make it available, I'll have to see.
You'll have to see. Oh,
I'll
come
have
on.
to see.
I don't buy that for a second. No, you better start saving up those Poes now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then there was a few other little things before we get to talking about the Mandeville Gold Saucer. We already, you and I have had conversations about our next point, the delivery Moogle quests.
Yeah, moot point.
Yeah, it's a pretty moot point. Maybe somebody in the chat could tell us how the new ones were, but yeah, I'm a sweet carrier level 1 or 2.
I think I'm 3, and that's the best I've done.
Yo.
Again, I feel like it's just one aspect of the game that really, I mean, it differs from player to player. I'm not one who's done a lot of delivery quests, but I feel it doesn't get any attention. I don't feel like it doesn't really add along to a side quest, let alone the main storyline. So is it really worth the time and effort putting into it? I mean, is there any reward for it? I don't believe so. I don't believe it merits the time being put into it.
The lore is your heart can be connected to those other NPCs that live hard virtual lives like the rest of us. Their lives are pre-coded. It's the Matrix, and we need to understand. So we don't care about that at all. Basically, is the point.
No.
There's also a new hairstyle. You get ponytails for males and females, and it's rewarded in the Gold Saucer, which we'll talk about the rewards later. But have you seen anybody? Okay. So we've been talking about the Moogle and how we barely touched that. I haven't even unlocked the Aesthetician on my main character. That came out 2.1. Wow, Sly, we're gonna get along great with this show because we're just like we don't have to fight over these things like all the new hairstyles. We should still talk about them. I mean, I saw the pictures; they looked fine if you like ponytails.
Yeah, I mean, they look good, but I mean, me personally, I don't have a real interest as my character is bald, just like me. So what do I need an esthetician for? The only thing, if they only had a hairstyle like Foxclaw, because I feel like that would be best in slot. Like, if anyone's ever seen Foxclaw's hair, it is just gray and it's got this like.
I'm sure everybody wants Yoshi P's hair as well. I mean, that's got to be weird being a developer and people are like, I want your hair in the game. Yeah. Make it happen. He's just like,
make it happen.
As long as you don't attack me in real life to get it, sure. And then one last thing. Now, I don't play a summoner. You were saying you're getting your relic for your Dragoon, but you've heard the conversations about summoners, right? They're MP starved. You know, people calling them useless in the final coil. And I raided with a summoner for months since I moved over to Gilgamesh 2.4. I've been raiding with a summoner. It's fine. Okay, it sucks for them that they have all these MP issues, but it's not so bad you can't bring them. Don't force your summoners to change to Black Mage. But they lost like 20 MP off one spell and 30 off PM off another. Have you spoken to any summoners about this, or have they all gone Black Mage on your server at this point because they're sick of people not liking them?
I I see a few summoners. I don't see as many complaints about it. I see a lot of black mages, but I don't think the issue has really been brought up as of late. I mean, I know some summoners do have this issue, but I just don't see the uproar that you might see on your server or somebody else sees on their server. So, I don't think it may be an issue to some, excuse me, but I don't think it's a big issue to most.
Especially not anymore. I mean, 20 or 30 MP, that doesn't sound like a lot, but imagine if all of your abilities were 10 less TP as Dragoon. How great would that be for you?
That'd be kind of great because my rotation is kind of TP intensive. So.
Oh yeah, it is. I've seen the Dragoon rotation. It's very TP intensive. Everyone's like, they're slower. No, it costs a lot. Trust me.
It costs a lot. And I have to use Invigorate every so often.
Luckily you have the stronger Invigorate as a Dragoon, though.
Yeah. So I don't go through that. I go through it with TP, just not.
Don't worry, I got your goad. You my boy, so I got your goad.
Thank you.
All right. So, with all the little things out of the way, the big thing we really got to talk about is 2.51. And that's the Mandeville Gold Saucer. So,
yes.
Now, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, and I got through the Gold Saucer. I haven't gotten to go back and do all the events later, but it is basically the same thing. It's got the same music. It's got the same themes. It's got a bunch of mini games. It's a lot of fun. I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of fun with it for the past week.
I kind of feel like it's half Vegas, half Dave and Buster's with the whole mini game.
I've never been to a Dave and Buster's.
Really?
We have one, but I was too young back then, and they just won't let us go in unless you have someone with 21 or older. And all my friends were 16, and they're just like, no.
Well, now you're grown and you can kind of experience.
And now I'm grown. I don't want to go to Dave. I want to go to the bar in Dave and Buster's. I don't want to go to the arcade.
I mean, it's good to have a beer right next to you, just playing video games or playing doing popping shots or something like that.
I know you like your beer.
Yes.
Don't worry. I had a beer during the stream earlier too, and it feels pretty good to game and beer at the same time. To game and beer, to beer. All right, so. On your server, I don't know if this has been a problem since day one. Have you had trouble getting into the Gold Saucer at all?
No.
You never had any issues getting into?
I never had any issues, even on first day when it was packed. Never had any issues. I hear other people in my stream in the chat would say, "Well, I can't get in. There's a waiting time, and it's full."
It's horrible because some of us who are working on our Zetas and the Gold Saucer at the same time, you'd complete one of the items you need, and you have to leave the Gold Saucer to get the next one, and you're just like. I don't know if I'll be able to get back in. Oh, I don't want to leave. All right, I have to do it. I can't just not do it. All right. Yeah, we had congestion.
But it wasn't packed.
I still can't believe it wasn't congestion. We had congestion for the first 3 or 4 days. Since then, it hasn't really been a problem. The only time it's been a problem since then was the jumbo cactopot when everybody showed up to wait for the numbers to be drawn. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, when you logged in, what was the first thing you did in the Gold Saucer?
I kind of did the introductory quest, to kind of introduce you to everything Gold Saucer has to offer.
Well, I think we all did that. Sly, what was the big thing you were excited for?
Chocobo Racing.
Oh, that's my boy. That's my boy.
Because I'm a huge Mario Kart nerd, and everybody knows I rage at Mario Kart. So
what you're saying is you hate Chocobo Racing because you can't compare anything to Mario Kart.
I'll get to Chocobo Racing in a minute because I have a few points on it.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so now let's actually talk about all the events in there, and let's try to just rate them all on a scale of 1 to 10 as best we can. I mean, we've had a full week with a lot of these things, and the first thing I do want to talk about is the Chocobo Racing. So. I like the complexity behind the actual raising of the Chocobo. It's not something I had a problem with. The companion Chocobos had, skill trees and, skill trees. It's more complex than what we have for our main characters, at least.
Right.
But, I mean, the calculation of, what's the best stat, feeding them, having to go through the breeding, the covering process, as it's called, trying to get the right stats, the right color, and then understanding the races, when to speed up, when to brake, when to let your opponent get ahead of you, it's just, there is a complexity to it. And they all cause a little bit of rage when you're in the middle of a race. I know you're laughing because I know what item I'm talking about, Sly.
Caltrops.
The Caltrops. I just call it Rafflesia. because
yeah,
that's exactly what it
and
is.
what it looks like. Yeah.
No, they literally recycled the animation from Rafflesia and turned it into a Chocobo Racing item. So we have what? We have a Chocobo potion, a stamina tablet, sprint shoes, the Choco Ether, which is the most useless item before rank 10. Bacchus's water, because apparently wine isn't allowed in an MMO. Graviball, Briar Caltrops, Hero Tonic, and Choco Meteor. We have a lot of different items here, and since you play Mario Kart, what do you think of these items?
Okay, I'll start off with my least favorite, which is the Caltrop.
No, that's your favorite. That's your most favorite.
No.
You sound like you've been a victim. You've been a victim many times.
I've been a victim of it, but I ruined so many races with it. And the reason I say ruin races is because it can ruin your race. If you're starting a race and the first item comes up and somebody drops that Caltrop and you're right neck and neck with them and you are like, you have no choice. You can't really back off. It's too late at that point. You're pretty much already down to about maybe 60 stamina, even below that, for the start of the race. And I kind of feel like they should, I don't know how you feel. I feel like they should nerf it a bit because it just, my races, so many races, even midway can get like, and you're still at like 70, I would think midway, if you're good on stamina, like maximizing out your stamina, then you get hit with the Caltrop and all of a sudden you kind of have to ease back and you really can't make that push because really I think most races you can, and this is my strat, I just sprint the whole race.
Yeah.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah, you hope you get a Chocobo potion, which raises your stamina. If it's the Gridania track, you get the little stamina boost automatically towards the end.
Yeah.
And if you ever get a stamina, if you get anything that prevents you from losing stamina at any point in the race, it almost feels pointless that there's even a lathered effect. It only really whoops you if you get no good items or you get Caltrops at the beginning.
Right. And I think, yeah, like you said, Choco potions and stamina tablets and like sprint shoes, those are the main three I like to go for. I mean, if I'm feeling froggy and I just want to fuck up somebody's day, I'll go ahead and, grab a ball them or Caltrop them. But those are the main three I really want to go for because I like keeping my stamina up. And that's something I need to raise in my Chocobo is my Chocobo stamina. So
now, one thing I do want to say to any aspiring Chocobo racers out there, the stamina tablet does counter the Caltrops. So if you get one and somebody else gets Caltrops, if they're trying to screw you over, time it a little bit. Because one Caltrops can ruin the race for a couple of people. Two Caltrops ruins the race for everybody if it's the first two items. Have you had one of those races where you and the guy in front of you both get the Caltrops?
And you just fuck each other up?
And you both lose the race.
Yeah, pretty much.
You almost wish you could just tell the guy, peace, please, please. I'm going to slow down, get the guys behind us, so I'll deal with you later. All right? Okay. That was...
Now, do you strategize your Caltrop drops? Like, will you just hold on to it, like, past items just to kind of keep them in your Caltrop in your back pocket? I mean, what do you do?
Only if the next item is another Caltrop, a Bacchus water. Like if it's not one of the stamina items we named. If it's a stamina item, I drop the Caltrops right before I pick up the item, and that's assuming that I don't accidentally run through the chest and not pick it up.
And that's another thing: hit detection. Hit detection with like the chest and the plates with like the boost or whatever. I feel like sometimes the hit detection is kind of off because you'll run through, exactly like you said, through the chest. You'll run straight through it like you would actually be getting it, and I get nothing sometimes. And then sometimes when I'm going for a dash, like a Choco Dash plate, I'll go off center. I'll be kind of off center of it, but still actually get the dash. I mean, have you experienced that?
So what I finally figured out by the end of like day one of Chocobo Racing is the races are on rails. It's not like Mario Kart where you're driving freely. You're always running forward, and depending on the width of the track, there's anywhere from 3 to 7 rails, and just tapping right puts you on the rail to the right of you. These chests are on the rail. Some of them are in between 2 rails, and you can get them by being on either one. But if you switch rails as you're about to pick up the chest, odds are you're going to move off the rail the chest was attached to, and that is why we miss them. It still looks dumb as hell on your screen because you're going right through it. I at least figured out why it's happening. It's I mean, if there's another explanation, please tell me, because that's what I landed on.
Yeah, I don't have anything that complex. It's just
this is bull.
It's bullshit, and like I rage every time it happens, and especially like, have you experienced like bits of lag when you race and you about to get a chest or something, or just a certain stop start, and I missed the chest because of the lag?
You know, I haven't had that in particular. I've had towards the end of the race where I hit a start stop, but I've never missed the chest because of a stop start. It happens definitely, and it depends on your internet connection. I've got a pretty stable one, so it's probably why it doesn't happen. But day one, stuff like that was happening a little bit more because everybody was doing it.
I get it. You're saying I have potato internet. It's okay. It's all
potato
right.
internet. Listen, is your life potato? Listen, you picked of all the things to pick, you had to pick potatoes. There's a YouTube video that cracks me up that's about potatoes, and now I'm gonna have to watch it at the end of the show. Look what you've done. All right. Well, there's a bunch of other stuff that happens on the track other than us getting screwed over by caltrops and poor hit detection. Weather effects. I have no idea what my Chocobo's advantage is. Each Chocobo has an advantage for being in a specific type of weather. Do you know what the advantage is? I mean, I'm sure I could have figured it out if I took the time. I have no idea what it is.
I don't either. I never really paid attention to it. I saw it like, it's got this, and this, and totally forgot it.
And it's like, hey, it's raining. My Chocobo has an advantage. What is the advantage?
Or it doesn't. Or
they just tell me I have. I feel like my stamina goes down quicker. That's pretty much the only thing I can imagine. I don't feel like I'm moving faster. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I don't pay too much attention to it because I'm I'm focused on screwing somebody else out of their race or just trying to make it to the finish line. Yeah, that's one of the
listen, you don't have to worry about trying to make it to the finish line because you could just AFK and get free MGP and experience points like everyone else does. Have you heard about that? That's what a lot of people are doing that. That's literally, they just click accept the race, they just go make a sandwich, and they're like, hey, a last place still gets me something.
It still gets you something. I mean, they can still get a bonus too, which is
no. If you get 8th place, you don't get a bonus. You have to hope the NPCs screw each other so much that you not even being there gets you in 7th place. Which happens. I've seen it happen. I
need to try that. I want to try that.
No, you trust me. It feels so. You could just get more points doing triple triad, if that's the reason why you're doing it. But it's the leveling of the Chocobo. So that's a big thing. It takes a long time to level these Chocobos.
It does, and I think I want to say at least 30 something, late 30s. Like I haven't gotten to I'm not OG deep to where I've gotten to the 120. Like, people are already on 120. I'm like,
120 gives a lot of MGP if you can get up there. But that's the thing. That's rating 120. Rating's different than rank. Rank is the actual level of your Chocobo, but like when you start breeding and stuff, they could be like rank 5 with like a rating of 50 or something like that. It's the rating, getting it up to that point. But it's a lot of racing. Like, it's about as much racing as you would have to do triple triad to have done a good job in the tournament today, which we'll talk about later as well. Right. But yeah, I mean, I know they want this to last a long time, and I'm glad that a lot of the Gold Saucer stuff, they want you to do it a lot, and they made it very accessible to do with friends, especially the Chocobo Racing. If you and I ever want a Chocobo race, it would just be a matter of one of us getting a character to level 15, and that's it. And then you just join a party and queue up. It's perfect for party games.
I was so stupid I didn't realize that until maybe 2 nights ago. I'm like, wait, we can join parties and actually do this? Yeah, so it seemed pretty legit. I mean, another thing I love about Chocobo Racing is there's not a huge wait time.
Because of the NPCs. I like that too. I wish they could put that in dungeons. Give us NPCs or let us queue with our Chocobos finally so these queue times aren't so bad on my DPS, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even if it's just you and 7 NPCs, you're waiting 30 seconds max for a queue.
Right.
I'm so happy about that. I'm so glad you touched on that because I didn't even think. Big question though. What's your Chocobo's name?
Seabiscuit. I gave it a racing horse name. It just sounded legit. It sounded legit.
Is good. I like that. I went with Outlaw Star.
I saw Outlaw Star.
I'm not an anime fan, but that is one of the few animes in my life that I saw, and I've actually purchased the box set for it. And I saw the word outlaw, and out of curiosity, I was like, I wonder if I could do outlaws. Hey, I can. Sure, why not? That's the name I'll go with. There are some. Have you seen some of the other names out there, though?
No, I haven't seen. I know one NPC's is Heaven's Ward, which is when I first started Chocobo Racing, I'm like, wait, Heaven's Ward? I see what you did there. I see what you did. A shameless plug. I see what you did there.
Somebody in the chat seems like they've raced you before and they hate you for winning. You're Seabiscuit? But there are combinations of names that you're actually not allowed to take because they're lewd. Like Uranus Blast and Strong Boner, and it's Boner with an H, okay? They didn't put Boner in the game. But these names are possible, and if you try to use the name, the NPC will be like, it's like trying to name your favorite worm in Worms, like name it something ridiculous, and they're just like, they just change it to something else. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen any like over the top names just yet.
But we got Icy Hot, Tempest Crusader, Cerulean Vortex, Moon, Simon, Le Melody, Black. Like, there's so many ridiculous name combinations. Like, there's like thousands of combinations of names that are possible. It's ridiculous. Golden Rain. It's not like Chocolate Rain. It's of a more inappropriate type.
Of course. Now, see, what I was thinking originally before this happened was like, before I even got into Chocobo Racing, was that you can like actually give it a legit name, like type out your name, like you name your regular Chocobo. My regular Chocobo's named Bandit. I was like, Bandit 2, Smokey, so I had Smokey and the Bandit, But no, they just give you a certain set list, and I saw Biscuit. I was like, if there's a C, I'm
See,
going
that's
there.
how I got Outlaw Star. I just saw half. I just saw half of it, and I went to and the other half just came to me.
Yeah.
See, great minds think alike.
Think alike.
All right, so Chocobo Racing, we pretty much covered all that. Yoshi P said he might add some flying tracks in Heavensward.
Well, I mean, we are getting flying mounts, so it does.
That's what and he says they're easier to make because you're just flying. Like the courses could be anywhere.
Right.
I wouldn't mind that flying.
Is it going to be on rails though?
It's probably still going to be on rails, but you're flying on these rails now. It's like those hover cars in Japan. They don't actually touch the rail. They're hovering.
But
they're
still
hovering.
Rails.
Those air trains, man. Anyway, before we get on the topic about air trains after the potato conversation earlier. So, overall, Chocobo Racing, 1 to 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Not going straight integers. I like that. I like a man who uses his decimals.
Not going straight integer. I mean, like I said, it's probably the best thing I like about the Gold Saucer. Again, the only bad part is the hit detection because of the rails and the caltrops. I think the caltrops need to be nerfed.
But where will I get all my YouTube highlights without all these caltrops? Oh, man. I actually agree with your score. I'm going to actually give it a 9 because I like that I can just... Viewers, hey, who wants a Chocobo race? And it's not like... You know how, like, when you queue with a group to, like, a dungeon, you can only do certain things, and, you're restricted from doing, like, play. There's no restrictions. You could literally play with 7 friends. All the rewards are exactly the same for first place, second place, with the bonus being decided. It's all the same. So you're literally leveling your Chocobos, you're doing that thing, but you're doing it while playing with friends. It's a social thing. And that's something that a lobby-based MMO like 14 needs. And this is still a lobby-based kind of racing thing, but at least you're able to play it like a party game, like an MMO, with no restrictions at all. No PvP restrictions, no job restrictions, nothing. Just fun. So I give it a 9. That's why I give it a 9. Especially because I did that earlier, and we were all having a ton of fun screwing each other over with caltrops. Anyway, moving on from Chocobo Racing, we have Triple Triad, which is the other big thing that came from came with the Gold Saucer. So for anyone who hasn't played Triple Triad before, it's a game from Final Fantasy VIII. It's a card game, and it's really basic. Every card has 4 values, one at the top, right, bottom, and left, and those represent the strength of each side of the card. Your goal is to place the cards that are stronger on the board to take your opponent's cards. The person who wins is the person who has control of the most cards in play by the end. That includes the 1 card that doesn't get played, because only 9 of the 10 cards get played. That last card in that person's hand is the card probably screwing you out of a win most of the time. So, I loved this. This is the only reason I don't have a Pedigree 2 Chocobo at this point. I have been grinding my ass off to try and get 60 cards before today. And I did it. I got exactly 60 cards. Sounds like you might have been on the route of Chocobo Racing as opposed to this, though.
When I started out, I was more, Chocobo Racing. Okay, I'll do triple triad for maybe about a few minutes, yada yada yada. Then come back Chocobo Racing. Like the only time I really grinded was recently. I think Sunday was the one time I really grinded out for cards. I don't have it bad as most other people on my server. And
am I about to hate you? Are you about to tell me a Bahamut story that is going to make everyone hate you?
No, I still don't have Bahamut.
Okay.
I still don't have Bahamut. I have a friend who's beaten King Elmer like over 100 times, still doesn't have his Bahamut card.
Hey, that sounds like me. Now you have 2 friends. I eventually got 2 of them, but now the chat's going to try and kill me. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so, I only really grinded out Sunday, and I got a few cards, so I'm up to like, 20-something now, and I still haven't even gotten, people call it Leon now.
Oh,
but...
for the love of God. Why... What have you been in my Twitch chat the past few days? Everyone's been calling him Leon. Come on, man.
I'm not one of those people. I just see
Squall.
Leon. I know.
This isn't Kingdom Hearts 1. He isn't so depressed about himself that he has to call himself Leon yet. Damn it.
I'm calling him Squall. Everybody in my chat just calls him, have you gotten the Leon card? It's Squall.
It's because Leon's less letters. It's easier for people to say.
But yeah, it's a lot of it is just a lot of my time is just winning, drawing, losing, repeat, rinse, rather repeat until I get my card and move on to the next NPC. And sometimes I feel like farming an NPC just for a card isn't even worth it with the deck I have. Like there are some NPCs you can kind of roll through and just get the card and be on your way. Like at my early deck that I have, some NPCs I can't do it. I can't really do it, so I kind of had to move on, get better cards.
Rowena.
Everybody's telling me Rowena, but Rowena's random. Like
that's
Rowena's
why it's
random.
Sucks.
It's
because she's got to cheat.
Her
she
5
cheats
cards.
She cheats with her deck. It's random. You're literally just praying that you pull up good enough cards. And if you don't have over 30 cards, you're all 1-star cards anyway. Ugh.
And I feel like, and that's another thing. I feel like most NPCs are stacked against you to begin with, because naturally they'll have at least 5 rares in their deck, and like you starting out, you can only have 1 rare, and then build it up and maybe have 2 rares. They still have 5. Screwed.
So, you said you had 20-something cards. What's your rarest card?
What is my rarest card? I don't count primals as really rare because I do have a
listen, all right? Listen. I've had a pretty bad time with some of those primals. They're rare, okay?
I mean, I have a Titan card. God. I got Minfilia, I got Stola.
Minfilia is a pretty good... You got that from the guy in Costa del Sol?
Yep.
Nice. Now, you can beat some of the harder NPCs. He's not super hard, but he's like medium level. You can beat like 20 different NPCs.
But is it worth sitting there for 4 hours just to get
Listen,
nothing?
You need to get the 1,000,000 points somehow to get that Cloud Strife card.
That's what a Cacpot's for.
No. Yeah.
I mean, that Cloud Strife card, it's so much bull. And that's another thing I want to touch on in terms of the economy of the Gold Saucer. But that Cloud Strife card is so much bull.
Okay,
listen. It's a Cacpot prize.
Ignoring the Cloud Strife card, nobody in real life says, "Oh, I'm just gonna win the lottery. I don't need to worry about my bills. I'll win the lottery." That's exactly. And no, nobody relies on the pick 4, especially, which is what that. Which is what
the mini, Cacpot is. But it is. Well, not mini, but the jumbo.
No, the jumbo is mini. It's a pick 4. If it was a pick 6, it'd be super jumbo.
Yeah.
All right. So your rarest card, Minfilia, got Y'shtola. I'm not good. I got 60 cards. People are gonna hate me if I start talking about my track record.
Go ahead.
I got Bartz. I got Terra. I got Squall. I've got Squall.
Not Leon.
Not Leon. I've got Minfilia. I've got Odin. I've got. I'm trying to think. I have 60 cards. Like I don't have Gaius though. I spent at least 15 hours trying to get it. I still don't have it. Last time I went back to the Gold Saucer, I had 23 Ratans, 23 Livias, 6 Neros, and at one point I had stopped and gotten an extra Ramu along the way. How
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I hate that card so much. Please get my mind off of it.
How have you gone about getting most of these cards? Have you done the dungeons and the fights to get cards, or have you just strictly just played NPCs?
So it depends on the one. Like I've gotten almost all the dungeon cards. So the only ones I'm missing are the Tonberry from Wanderer's Palace and Siren from Pharaoh series. I have all the other dungeon ones. That includes Cutter's Cry, Darkhold. For raids, for primals, I'm missing Ifrit Leviathan and Mogomog. I got Garuda and Titan as drops. I got Odin as a drop. I've gotten pretty much all the primals as drops. I don't think I've won a single primal from an NPC. And then the rest of them are, they're either only dungeon drops or only NPCs. So I think challenging the NPCs is the way to go. Gold packs also, gold and silver packs. I'm only missing 2 cards from the gold packs, and then I have all the pack cards as well. But Warrior of Light and Zidane are not going to happen anytime soon. Saving up for my mount. That's like 6 years from now, but I'm saving.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got 25,000. I'm almost there. That's like, what, 1/40th of the way?
1/4.
Something like that.
But how much are you putting, like, a lot of that has to be putting into your Chocobo, though, isn't it?
Nah, I just buy level 1 grades. I'm a cheapo. Listen, I'd rather buy level 3 off the market board than buy it with my gold saucer points. That's how much I value my gold saucer points.
Rather spend real gil than actual gold saucer points. I got you.
Yeah. Listen, that's how it is. All right. So let's talk about some of the rules, because if you played Final Fantasy VIII, there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of different rules that you can end up. There's like all open where you can see both hands. There's 3 open where you can see 3 cards. The 2 big ones, same and plus. I'm not going to say anything. Do you know how these work?
I know how plus works.
I'm sure you do, King Elmer. King Elmer's teaching everyone how to plus.
Like, I haven't really experienced same and plus as much. A lot of times I get chaos and random.
God, chaos and random. So to elaborate for everyone who hasn't played Triple Triad, chaos is the 5 cards in your hand. They have to be played randomly. At the beginning of your turn, it tells you which card you're allowed to play that turn, and you have to play that card. It makes beating some of the NPCs atrociously bad. It's even worse when it's paired with random, because then your deck is chosen at random. You have 40 cards to choose from. The NPCs got 8 cards to choose from, and they're all 4 or 5 star. You're going to get screwed. Good luck getting your Raubon card. Have fun with that. Anyway, I think he's only chaos. I don't think he's random. I don't think he's random. I think he's just chaos. Chaos still sucks, though.
Chaos sucks. And it sucks especially when you, like, do you really have a chaos deck?
There is, like, I could make a chaos deck as best I can, but my chaos deck would be the same as all my other decks. I just have a bunch of cards that are good at baiting out a strong card and then taking whatever card is there. Like, that's how I play almost every match other than same and plus. And Ascension and Dissension I play totally different as well. Like, you need an Ascension deck.
Yeah, you definitely do need an Ascension deck. I'm still kind of building an Ascension deck. Sometimes I just strictly just use recommended and still come out with a win. It's kind of like you said in your video. It's kind of luck based. It's a good percentage of luck in most of your.
There's still some skill involved,
There's some skill.
It's not Yu-Gi-Oh level luck where you got to believe in the heart of the cards. Actually, with the Chaos rule, it is a little bit, but
yeah, it's straight Yu-Gi-Oh, because I think Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty much bullshit. They made along. Like, I swear to God, Yu-Gi-Oh is such bullshit. They make it along as they go. Like watching the anime, like. Oh, I have this card. Oh, I have this card that lets me kiss your mom.
I believe the next card I draw will be the card I need to win. Oh, look at that. It is.
Yes, it's random.
Yeah, and I wish it worked like that with Chaos. I would believe a lot more in the heart of the cards if it worked. All right. So, the last thing I want to touch on with Triple Triad before we give it a rating, the tournament. The first ever officially sanctioned Triple Triad tournament was today. So, have you gotten to touch it yet at all?
I was going to touch on it today. I've seen a few streams of people touching on it and what they've done. I mean, it's what, 15 matches?
15, yeah, you have 15 total matches that you're allowed to play. So the way that it works is the rules for the tournament are plus and all open, which is perfect because the plus rule, as everyone's been learning with King Elmer, means that even if you have a 1-star deck, you can compete against the people with the 3-star decks. It's the perfect rule for the first tournament where people are still in that collection process and don't have a lot of things. The problem is that, yes, you can only play 15 matches, but the way that the points are distributed is very, very abusable. I don't know if you've seen this on your server or if you're going to see it today, because you probably will. Mm-hmm. When you are fresh to the tournament, you are worth 100 points to whoever beats you. And what people are doing is they'll start the tournament, they'll sell that first win. They'll sell that 100 points, which, by the way, for some reason is actually more like 120 to 130 points. And they'll sell it because it's boosting people to get higher in the standings. What's even worse is that people have organized these crime syndicates of boosting each other to all get into the top 20 or into the top 3. And because of the way the points are calculated, while it's a very specific setup that you have to do to get into the top 3 using the boosting strat, it's effective enough that those are the people that are going to either win or at least knock other fair players out of the top 20. It's going to happen.
I like how you use the word syndicate. That's
crime syndicate.
It makes it feel Vegas-like. It's so Vegas-like.
Is that something? Is the crime syndicate something from DC? I think it is. It's DC or yeah. No, that's the He-Man one. I don't know anymore. I'm sure someone will tell me.
So which, in terms of history, which is worse, win trading for like Wolves Den or this?
This is way worse because top 3 gets a lightning card, which you can only get from this tournament, and first place gets 140,000 MGP. Top 20, I don't remember what the prize is for top 20, but yeah, there's for Wolves Den you're boosting to get up to your vanity armor. Yeah. Like I don't care. But a lightning card, everybody's favorite Final Fantasy character, right alongside Cloud Strife. Absolutely, I'm going to be angry. Right alongside Vaughn as well, which is another one that you can boost your way up to through different means. Honestly, I don't even care. I don't want to win through boosting. I want to be the guy who plays fair. 30 tournament wins, which will take at least 2 or 3 tournaments to get to if you bought all 15 of your wins, is 30 tournament wins. Don't need to win the whole tournament. You just need to win individual matches. So the Shantoto card, Final Fantasy XI, I got to get that. That's all I want. I just play my games normally. GG. People who are playing have been very well-spirited on Gilgamesh. So hopefully you experience that too. People are GG. Wow, I could have won that. That was a good game. I haven't seen that many well-spirited people in one place in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, I mean, Behemoth. Behemoth is pretty much the same way. They're well-spirited. I mean, I played a few, random players out and about. Just go up to them and challenge them with I challenged them with my starter deck of all decks when it first started.
And then you win, and they get really angry. Somebody was going around with a starter deck beating people on Gilgamesh with the same rule. With the plus rule. And people were like, the dodo! How can I lose to the dodo?
Here's what'll happen with my starter deck. There'll be a gate that happens, and we'll talk about gates in a few.
Yeah.
But there's a gate that comes out, and I'm stuck in the triple triad square, facing off against an NPC. I'll accidentally hit OK to start another round, and I accidentally hit my starter deck. I'm like, whatever, fuck it. I'll just spam out cards so I can get out. And this was against the one with the Ascension rule. How the fuck do I go into sudden death? The starter deck. And I'm trying to get to this fucking gate, and I'm not even trying, yet I go into sudden death.
That's one of the funniest things. Have you missed any queues playing against NPCs? You queue in thinking, oh, I'm not going to get this queue that quick. You're just playing triple triad matches. All of a sudden, you're in the middle of a game, and you can't get in. Your NPC, you can't lose to them. You can't end the game, and you end up getting the withdrawal bonus.
I haven't missed queues, but I've missed gates.
Okay. Well, obviously, I figured that's how that story ended.
Yeah.
All right. So we went over the rules, went over the tournament. We went over Triple Triad as a whole. A few more things we could talk about, but it doesn't really seem like we need to mention it. 1 to 10.
I know where you're going with this, but I give it a 7 out of 10.
I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody not liking Triple.
Now, it's not that I don't like Triple Triad. It's just
you like Chocobo Racing better. Well, and an 8.5 is better than a 7.
It's better than a 7, but it's just the whole farming the cards. I've heard some people say Atma drops are so much.
Oh no, yeah, I would. Yeah, the Atma drops are definitely better. So, see, the thing is, I don't need 60 Atmas. I only need 12 of them.
Right, but now, like, as opposed to pre 2.4 before the Atma drop, like, you're not farming. Well, you have farmed like 12 hours.
Listen, I have farmed
12 hours
everything this game has ever released except for the Aesthetician and Moogle Delete. I did sightseeing logs, okay? And this is almost more. See, I wish Triple Triad was around when sightseeing logs was around, because I'd have something to do when I'm waiting for those weather changes. So you gave it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think there's still improvements they need to make, mostly with the tournament, the way that it's done. I think the tournament I was really excited about it today. I would rather, somebody brought it up in my chat earlier, I would rather have shorter periods for the tournaments and have them more frequently than have these short tournaments that are bi-weekly. And also just the way that points are distributed. I would like to see some sort of change. One thing that we discussed maybe was talking to the NPC and him matching you up with another random person talking to him, as opposed to being able to challenge people directly to the tournament match. Yeah, so, also because the grind can be atrocious. The only thing that's good about that grind is it's helping me get closer to my Fenrir mount. That's the only thing. So many points off of the Indolent Imperial. I love that guy and I hate him at the exact same time.
A lot of people hate the Imperial.
Listen, Nero Tolskeva, Ratatan, and Livia are my best friends. Guys, Van Belsar, not so much. All right, so you gave it a 7. I gave it an 8. Now, those were the two big things in the Gold Saucer, but we do have to talk about the other bunch of little things that they added. We were touching on this earlier. We're going to talk about the mini cactpot and the jumbo cactpot. Let's talk about the mini one first, because this is just, like, if this is for those addicts that like to, like, on their way to work, they stop at the store, they get coffee, they get a bagel, and they buy a scratch-off. Today's the day I'm going to win $20 off the scratch-off. I've spent thousands of dollars and never won, but today's that day. Mini Cactpot is a scratch-off where they scratch off one number for you, then you're allowed to scratch off 3 numbers, and then you have to select a row of numbers. You add up all 3 of the numbers in that row, column, or cross-diagonal thing, and if it equals a number on the right-hand side, whatever number it equals on the right-hand side determines your prize. Number 1 prize being 123, which is 10,000 MGP. How many times have you gotten 10,000 MGP?
None.
None? Have you had any cards that were at least eligible to get it?
I really paid attention. I didn't think the most I've ever gotten was, I think it was like the 6,000
6,000
prize.
Is there 6,000? I think that might be 789. I think that's 3,200.
Yeah, it might have been that, because I think I was already stacked in MGP to begin with. So yeah,
saving up for Cloud Strife, obviously. The most important.
Of course.
Yeah, so you can win those tournaments because you just automatically win when you play Cloud Strife.
Yeah,
it's a million points, I better.
It clears the board.
It clears the board. That's it.
When you put Cloud Strife down, it clears the board.
He Omni Slashes and takes 5 cards. Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
That's the most I've ever won. I think was maybe 3,000 or 6,000, and I don't really have a strategy to it. Like,
never done a Sudoku puzzle?
It's been a while. Like,
I want to practice.
But no, one thing to touch on. I've heard we don't have the practice because there are some quote unquote third parties who have solvers. What do you think of that?
Okay, so I have a solver. I have one, but I've learned it's completely useless. If you're actually going for 1, 2, 3 and you can't figure it out, it's not going to help you, because at that point it's literally, they just tell you what your best possible option is based on what's already revealed. That best possible option could be entirely wrong. It could tell you, oh, you could win 2,000 if you select this, and then you get 72. Because it was only guessing based on what odds you could do. And I think it's actually the most that you could possibly get, not the least you could possibly get from a selection. And both of my 10Ks that I've gotten on my main have come from just me doing it. Day 1, I selected it, got 1, 2, 3. I'm sure everybody hated me for that.
Really? Day 1?
I literally walked into the Gold Saucer, bought it, 1, 2, 3, 10,000. World first, baby. I'm sure it wasn't, but I just like saying that.
You probably were.
No, I doubt that. You know how many people were buying mini Cactpot tickets around then? And then I won one another day ago. I've also helped helped a few people win it by like they'll say, oh, these ones are scratched. I'll be like, pick that one. There you go, 10,000. And I helped them with the solvers as well. It's like, I don't feel like figuring it out. Here's the solver. The mini cacpot's pretty fun. It's something I like doing. I do it alongside my maps every day.
I mean, like you said, it's just like going to a convenience store getting.
Yeah, and I have a bad feeling that if I ever commuted, that this would be that would be me eventually. I think MMOs have conditioned me to have a daily like way of living, and I think
they condoning gambling? Are we condoning gambling?
No, because you don't really gamble. You just pay for it, and then you hope to make it back or more. You're not I'm not literally putting my money in slot machines, and the mini games we'll talk about later is not really gambling either.
It's not.
The thing that's really closest to gambling, and it's not because I don't think I've ever done the pick 4 and I walk in, it's like I spent $10 on pick 4 numbers, and they're like, well, here's $10.50 back for a consolation prize. Because that's how the Jumbo Cacpot works. Jumbo Cacpot, if anyone's ever watched the lottery as a kid or anything, it's the pick 4. You pick 4 numbers, and if all of them match, you get the jackpot. Whee! And if you have some of the numbers matching, you get lesser and lesser prizes. And anybody hit it on your server? Saturday, the first drawing?
No.
Were you there for the first drawing?
Oh, yeah, I was there for the first drawing.
Did you understand what the numbers were on the wheel, or did you have to wait until the NPC said? Because it's Eorzean numbers.
I didn't understand that.
I was just like, oh, what's the first number? What's the first? I don't know what that is. I don't know what is that a 7? And everyone's just like, oh, okay.
You just have a bunch of confused faces.
Everyone's like
looking.
I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh man, some people have won it. Nobody won it on Gilgamesh. I don't know. The NPC tells you if anybody won it, but nobody won it on Greg.
Yeah,
poor old Greg. Did you win anything, or were you another consolation winner?
I was a consolation winner.
Consolation winners unite. Don't worry, I'll get the jackpot this week. I've got 3 different characters working on. I'm about to start level. I'm about to get 8 characters. I'm about to make 40 characters across like 5 servers just to try and win it once. I can do it. I pay for 40 characters for this account for a reason. This is that reason. Okay.
You get to spam Jumbo Cacpot.
Just spam it every week on 40 different characters. I just got to level them all to 15 first. No problem.
Now, you think there should be 2 drawings, though? Like, real
No.
Mega Millions, like 2 drawings per week, you know?
No, I think 2 drawings per week is too much. I'm old-fashioned, maybe. I don't know. So, together, what would you give these as a score? Obviously, it's not something you interact with a whole lot, but what would you give these in a score from 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I mean, it's like you said, it's not something you interact with a whole lot. I mean, it's 6. It's something you do, like, when you're in the Golden Saucer on the way to doing triple triad or anything. So it's really minimalistic. I mean, yeah, it's just basically lottery. You just pray in God you win.
But sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 as well. It's not like it's a fun thing to rub in your friend's face when you get the 10,000 and they don't. Right. That's about it. The 10,000 you're probably gonna spend on gold packs for triple triad to not get good cards, to get 14 times in a row,
or to train your Chocobo.
Or to train your Chocobo if you're Slyh here, who uses his MGP very irresponsibly, not saving up for the Cloud Strife card.
I do.
Sorry, I spent 70,000 on gold packs, so I would be almost at the Fenrir amount, like 1/10 of the way if I didn't do that. Yeah, I wanted the Zidane and Warrior of Light cards. All right, don't judge me.
I'm not judging. No judgment.
The look on your face is
judgment-free zone. Judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone. Okay. Yes. All right. I accept it. So this is one. The next one we can actually give a pretty good rating on, though, is the gates. Oh, so yeah. These are like the full active time events. They're fates, but they're Golden Saucer active time events, and there's 5 different versions of them. So I want you to rate each and every individual one. I don't care about rating the system altogether, because we might as well just rate fates altogether if we were going to do that. The first one, Cliffhanger. Parkour. This is what I thought Sightseeing Logs was going to be. With us doing jumping puzzles, like fast-paced, with like obstacles and stuff. I love Cliffhanger, even though it is the least rewarding one of all of them.
Yeah, I agree. It was a pretty average one. I mean, like, my platforming is so terrible. Like, the first time I tried to do it, I kept getting knocked off. Now, I hear that the bonus, is there a bonus if you complete it without getting knocked off? Whereas if you... Okay, so...
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
There's two different versions of Cliffhanger too. There's one
Yeah.
in I don't like the one in Coral Square. I think it's in Round Square. Best name ever, by the way, Round Square.
Yeah, Round Square.
It's either in Round Square or no, Wonder Square. Wonder Square. I'll go with Wonder Square. Yeah. And that one you're running up on a chandelier. I like that one way better. I give this individual gate like a 10. It's just fun. I wish we had more things like this, because talking about another MMR now, Guild Wars 2 has jump puzzles. I love jumping puzzles. I love parkour. So I give it a 10.
I gave it a 7.5. Pretty average. Pretty average.
Too short for your liking?
Yeah, I mean, because you just do it and you're done.
But we saved a Chocobo.
Hooray!
Oh, somebody just heard me on Skype real quick. Let me switch myself to do not disturb so that doesn't happen. Technical difficulties are the greatest. Not even technical difficulties, more like a technical I'm an idiot. Something like that. All right, so the next gate is Vase Off, and where I gave the last one a 10, I hate Vase Off with a passion. I hate it.
I think it's annoying, but I like it. It has that certain Metal Gear feel to it, because you have the hide from the NPCs, and
but we're not under a cardboard box, and there's no porn mags involved.
There's no cardboard box. Like, how you run past them is beyond me, because
they're pretty dumb.
Like, I still have yet to do it, because sometimes there's this one NPC down at the bottom of the stairs who, like, that's where I need to go.
And just 180s.
Like, that's usually like my last base I had to get, and he just stands there. I'm like, a minute has passed, dude. You got to move or something. Make me go back upstairs, do something. But he just stands there, and then I go back upstairs. Now he wants to come, and time usually runs out. So it's annoying as hell. But this is one of the better ones I like. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? All right.
10.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Just, Skype just lagged for a second, so his audio might be off a little bit. I might just here, try talking real quick. I just want to see if it works out. Say hi.
Check 1, 2. Hi.
Okay, no, it's okay. I think it looked like it was off a little bit before. I think it caught up now. I've actually gotten a lot better at it. I can beat it every time now. My strategy is I wait for somebody else in front of me to go, and I follow them, and if they get discovered, I turn around. And I've also memorized there's a perfect path you can take to only have to dodge a handful of NPCs now. Sometimes you only have to do 1, 2, or 3. When it's 3, I'm just nervous the whole time. I give it a 7, even though I really don't like it all that much. I think it's funny when we're all just like waiting for that NPC, like you said, at the stairs, and we're all just like,
yeah, when you gonna move?
Everybody starts backpedaling away, and then they're just like, all right, he stopped. Okay. All right, so
I think there's a certain timing or a detection to it, because he's not moving. If somebody, like, I noticed that I stand there for a good while, he won't move. Go back upstairs, he comes back. Like, I think it's kind of detection based, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so the next one is skin change or skin charge we can believe in. This, I am terrible at this. I don't think it's a bad minigame. I am just terrible at it. This is the one where you talk to an NPC and you have to find one of 5 NPCs that looks exactly like that NPC, and it's an imposter. You have to identify which of those NPCs looks exactly the same as the NPC who gave you the quest. I am just bad at it. Like,
you're not the only one.
I
hate it.
And I wait for somebody to shout, like, oh, it's the mark under their left eye that's different. It's like, what?
How do you know that?
Okay, all right. Well, then it's the mark under the left eye. All right, then fine. I give it a 6. I don't like it because I suck at it. I gave
it a 5. It's just like I find myself backtracking between not all of them, just one, because I feel like there's something different about that one every time I go back and look at it. Like, I go to the original person, look at him, stare at him for a bit, stare at everything, turn him around, stare at him, then go to the one that I think looks like it, stare at him for about 20 seconds, and then go back to the original because I completely fucking forgot what the original had, like, that really set him apart, like, set him, there were distinguishing characteristics, and I find myself backtracking between 1 or 2 other ones, and It just got annoying to me. I'm like, fuck it, I can't get it.
I'm colorblind. Like, I'm always thinking the change is going to be something color related. I'm not going to be able to tell the difference. I'm screwed. 6 because I'm salty. I'm salty about all the MGP I've wasted unsuccessfully determining which one. I just do it and I just guess. I don't even care. It's 50 MGP. It'll take me 2 seconds to get back. I'll just go challenge King Elmer Fudd. So the next one is probably the easiest one. And the one that is actually, I have a lot of fun doing this one. It's the time of my life. They give you like 7 or 9 emotes that your character uses, and you have to watch the NPCs. It's a game, as Simon says. You have to try and mimic like at least 12, I think, and you get full credits. 480 GP. It's so hard to fail it once you understand how it works. And I don't know. I just like this one.
Yeah, I agree. First time I actually did it, I did fail though, because
because
I kept
nobody
spamming
knows
the
what their
wrong.
emotes look. Nobody knows. We're just like, I use like 4 emotes, so yeah,
So I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
have to.
I feel like you have to kind of like practice your emotes before you even start, so you kind of like get a sense of what they're gonna do. So
Yeah.
actually, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty simple. Like you
give
said,
it an
it's
8.
like a Simon Says.
I love Simon Says growing up. It's like I like Bop It better, but whatever. Bop It. All right, so 8 out of 10. Twist It. Yeah, well, that depends if it's Bop It or Bop It Extreme. You're getting a little. Well, Twist It's in both of them. Yeah, it's Flick It. It's Flick It and Spin It that are in Bop It Extreme. But I mean, we're always extreme here.
Oh, yeah.
So the final one. Any way the wind blows, and the name of the achievement for beating this, what the funga, is the perfect it's literally just Typhon shows up, Typhon, Chupon, whatever you want to call him, shows up, and he tries to knock you off. If you don't get knocked off, you win. If you do get knocked off, you lose. You don't even have to get knocked off. He just has to hit you, and you fail. And it's completely random where he's going to go. I've only won it once, and I literally AFK'd. I stood in one spot, I went and made a sandwich, I came back, and I won. I tried that today. It didn't work. I tried that on
That's the only way you've won.
That's the only way I've won.
Making a sandwich.
Making a sandwich. I had turkey, cheese, and hot sauce. Pepper jack cheese, more specifically. That wasn't a very eventful sandwich, but it was a sandwich.
Like,
have you won this? Have you won it?
Yes.
Now, first of all, now it sounds like you've won it more than once.
Twice.
Twice. Okay, good. That means you have twice the success rate I do.
Yeah, I feel like this is, like, if anything, my favorite gate. It's totally random. I've actually found a strategy, quote unquote, just by moving.
Listen, if you only won 2 times, there's no strategy involved. All right.
Okay, the first time was completely random because I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and I didn't like just randomly running. And I found that randomly running doesn't really do you a lot. But the second time I did it, you know, I just started walking a few paces. Like, just stop, walk a few paces, and I won. Like, I didn't move. I'd hardly move.
You're like the guy who came up with the Japanese Atma theory. He's like, oh, it worked for me. It must work for everyone. I think I'm onto something here.
I mean, yeah, it's worked 50% of the time. But I've done that strat, and that's only 2 times. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing that strat a little bit more. See if it helps. Might
all right,
help.
let me know how that goes for you. So what do you give it?
Favorite one, 9 out of 10. It's the most. It's the most rewarding.
You know what? I will give you this. It's so funny when every single time he shows up and you see all the group of people he's in, you just see a bunch of people typing, "No, I hate this one. I never win." I'm that guy, but I just say it out loud. You know what? I'll give it an 8 out of 10 just for that, because that alone makes it entertaining. Just to see so many people go, "No, I just want to win once. I'm never gonna get the achievement." Okay, so those are all the gates. Now, the last few things we have are, we barely have to talk about this. The little mini games. Yeah. The first one's crane game. Oh no, the first one's the basketball. Monster toss. I thought I was good at these kind of games. I guess I'm not as good at quick time events as I thought I was.
Yeah, I mean, I can pretty much give an average for all of them because they're all average things. I mean, this is where I say it's the Dave and Buster's part of Gold Saucer, because
there's no Dance Dance Revolution, so I'm not a...
Yeah, there's no
Pump
Dance
It Up.
Dance Revolution, but, you know, these are just things you can do in the meantime while you're waiting on, like, say, a Chocobo race or a gate to pop up. So, I mean, yeah, like Monster Toss, it was like I thought it would be more action oriented. You would just keep going and keep going. No, but you stop, start.
You stop, start, and it gives you the 1940s Batman pop up to tell you bogus, beautiful, great shot. Now that's more like DDR. You're on fire.
NBA Jam.
Oh my God, NBA Jam. All right. So these are all kind of the same, so let's just cover them all kind of in one fell swoop instead of grading them individually. Crystal Tower Striker, quick time event, you have to get the bar all the way full. Get it as close to full and then stop it when it hits that point. Moogle's Paw is a crane game. You move it right once, and then you can move it up once, and if it's over something, you win points. And Cuffaker gets the little bar closest to the middle as opposed to like Crystal Tower Striker where it's all the way at the top. I mean,
see, that's where I was stupid because I thought you had to get it all the way to the right instead of to the middle. I'm like, why the hell am I not getting anything? Oh, it's in the middle. So yeah, I was stupid for the first few times I did that.
That's fine. So I just give these like a 6. Like I do them when I'm waiting. I do like 2 of them waiting for Chocobo Racing, and that's it. I do 2 Cuffakers and then the Chocobo Race pops.
Yeah, 6.5 for me.
6.5. You gave it the 0.5. Again, a man working with decimals.
Yeah.
Not just integers. So, since 2.51 came out, have you neglected, due to all of these different events, have you neglected anything else that you were doing in the game beforehand, like your Animus, for example?
Well, I already neglect Animus for to begin with.
Yeah, we already determined you're waiting for the tombstone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I never really neglected anything. It's like maybe the first day it came out, that's when it was pretty much sensory overload and like, oh, look at all this, it's shiny. So, yeah.
Look at this shiny new place. There's things here and people. There's things and people here. Why would I ever want to go anywhere else? Why is Mordona so empty? No, Mordona's not empty. Everyone's at the Indolent Imperial trying to get Gaius. All right, so we rated everything individually. Instead of mathing it all together and trying to figure out what our actual overall rating would be, what would you give the Gold Saucer overall?
I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. Like, it's not perfect. The only thing I don't think is perfect, but is one of the things that will keep you coming back to it, is the whole economy and how expensive everything is in terms of NGP. That's just on like,
oh yeah.
But with most things Yoshi P does, that's just to give you incentive to just keep coming back. So, like, who the hell is going to get Cloud Strife to begin with? Nobody. You're going to have to come back and keep working at it. And maybe win that Jumbo Cacpot someday, you might win.
I'll buy it on one of the 40 characters I'm going to play on. Yeah, you're laughing. I'm not.
I still can't believe you do that.
It's in the works.
I'll give it it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me.
All right, solid 9 out of 10 is fair. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. There's some things that, just like with, most things that are new to the game, there's a few kinks that need to be worked out, like the triple triad tournaments. I have a feeling they're not going to touch the prize amounts, and I don't think they should. One thing that I like about them is when you show that you have a card, you either prove that you won the Jumbo Cacpot or that you're really, really, really dedicated. It's like a real kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, where you want the most expensive thing on the wall and you're going to spend way more hours and way more money trying to get it than if you could just, forward the money in order to get it on. It feels right to me. And I feel like the rewards are justifiable. Defender amount is a crazy one. A lot of people were like, I hope it doesn't end up on the cash shop. And then after they saw how many points it was, they were like, I hope they put it on the cash shop. Mm-hmm. Everyone was immediately like, never mind. All of a sudden, a cash shop seems like a beautiful idea to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because these prices and the gamblers, like everything is really, really expensive. So we'll have to see if there's any changes to the economy, especially once you start getting access to the higher ranked Chocobo Racing. Right. We start having more tournaments, more games added. We'll have to kind of see how it evolves, but I'm fine with the way it is now. It gives me something to always work towards when I'm online. So I give it the 8.5 just for taking a few points off for the little kinks. So do you have anything you'd like to add about the Gold Saucer real quick before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think one thing it is missing, though, and I told a